Okay, just got filled on an order here. Profit target one tick below the measured move. Stop loss one tick below 50%. Retracement of the setup bar. And we'll see where we go from here. This is just an example of what I refer to as a reversal bar. This is not necessarily a trade I would be taking in my live account just based on what's already happened today. But if this had set up earlier in the day and I were trading, then this would definitely be a trade I would take. $31.50. Last profit target should drop to $31.25. Always take into account, I always take into account previous bar highs and lows. The only thing we can really ever, I don't want to say count on, because you can't count on anything. It makes it sound like there's some degree of certainty. There's edge, there isn't certainty. They are different. But the only thing, price could fly here and go all the way to new all-time highs. Unlikely, but it could happen today. But as a day trader, would really only be expecting, at best, that price is going to test the high of this bar here. This were a trend line drawn here. Broke the trend line. Reason you draw it here and not here is because when you draw a trend line, I follow the instructions of Trader Vic from his books. So for a downtrend line, you would start at the highest high, and you would draw it across all the highs it could touch without intersecting a bar, and where those highs preceded a lower low. So, for example, at one point, this would have been the trend line. Trend line broke, but the breakout failed. So you have to go to this high, because after price made this high, it made a lower low. Your trend line broke, hasn't failed yet. It fails by making a lower low. So this is a $300 profit target, and it's about $175 risk. And was not really intending on recording any actual trade setups. And again, this is an actual sim trade. This is not my live account. But this one was fixing to go.
Target filled.
As I was preparing my chart. Okay, so there's the profit on that one. So what are we doing here, Vidad? What was that all about? And this doesn't mean anything, this trend line, I was just doing that. I have tempted to stop recording and start over because I feel like maybe I muddied the waters. As much as I would like to show that, I'll keep it going. So, what do we have here? This chart is just the regular trading hours of the E-mini. And the area where the background is black is the 9:30 open. So this candle opens at 9:30 a.m. to 11:30. This candle closes at 11:30 a.m. I blocked out everything else. I did that by making the bars the same color as these shaded regions. you'll see these random stray green bars out here, and that is because they are, like these green bars here, inside bars. So what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So the one idea I would propose is that, first of all, you only take long trades on the evening, even on the day when it gaps down. Just look for long setups. And if you get an inside bar, you place a buy stop above the high. Your risk is the 50% level. Your profit target is a measured move of the inside bar. Gotta snap my drawings here. So, for example, today we had an inside bar on the second bar. Your entry would have been, and I wouldn't put a buy stop above, I actually put a buy stop limit at the high. I think you can see that. So buy stop at 25.75. Again, I would move the stop loss one tick below the measured move. And for this method, the only pivotal point I'm watching for is the open. If my profit target is on the other side of the open, I'm going to use a reduced profit target. So for example, this would have been enter at 25.75, take profit at 31.75. That would have been a $300 profit. Initial stop would have been, well, the other thing I do is this. The initial stop on an inside bar is the low of the inside bar. After this bar closes, I'd move my stop to the halfway. So this would have been a 1-to-1 trade initially. Then reduced risks would be a 2-to-1 trade. Now we're also looking for reversal bars. What's a reversal bar? Well, a reversal bar, I go along with Al Brooks. And we're looking for long only, so the inside bar would have been our first trade. Also, could do an opening range break. On an opening range break trade, I would use one tick below the 50% level as my initial stop. So it would have been filled here, and price never retraced even to halfway. But again, you would have had so that would have been a 2-to-1, risk $337.50 for a $675 profit. But here's where the bet is weakest. You see how I get off topic. So what are the setups? Actually, let's just do it that way. Opening range break is a setup. Inside bars, long only, is a setup. Reversal bars are setups. So what's a reversal bar? So the first reversal bar of the day was here. You had a bar that made a low and a high. Inside bar doesn't count toward the as a reversal or not. It's just inside this bar. Then this bar made a higher low and a higher high than this bar. Higher low, higher high than this bar. Higher low, higher high than this bar. This bar made a lower high and a lower low. This is a reversal bar. Now, if you were trading these things willy-nilly, you would have gotten short here. This would have been a stop out. And that's fine. You can take all reversal bars if you'd like. I've never tested doing so. I think if you're going to do that, then you're not going to use a 1-to-1 target. You should be using some sort of trailing stop where you're always in long till you're stopped into a short, always in short till you're stopped into a long. But now that we have a lower low and a lower high, we're looking for the next bar that makes a higher low and a higher high. So we're going to when this bar closes, we would put a buy stop at the high, 34.75. We're looking for a 1-to-1 profit target. And on the inside bars, again, stop loss is the low until the entry candle closes. Then it moves up to 50%. But on these bars, once you're in, you move it to one tick below the 50%. Your profit target one tick below the 1-to-1. That would have been a profitable trade. Inside bar, long only, would have had a buy stop above. Initial stop, again, had this been filled, would have been one tick below the low of the inside bar. Had this entry been triggered, once that entry bar closed, assuming the trade hadn't already been stopped out, then the stop loss would get moved to one tick below the 50% level. Now we have and here's your next reversal bar down. Lower high, lower low. Inside bar, we're going long only. Again, when this got filled, initial stop is here. When this bar closed, stop goes to 30 3/4. Would have been about $112, little 2.25 point loss. And then we have down, down, down. Here's your next reversal bar up. And that would have been a loss. Now this is a reversal bar, not an inside bar. It's not an inside bar. It's inside, according to St. Albrook's, but since its low matched the low of this bar, it's a reversal bar. So this would have been a stop out. Would have lost $181. I'm not keeping track here, but then the next long trade would have been the one that we called at the beginning of the recording. Again, that was the way I did this one, because of this high here, I made the profit target 31.25. Entry was 25.25, so 6 points, $300. This was a reversal bar. Initial stop was 168.75. We're at 11 o'clock. What would the next setup be? Well, we need to wait for a reversal bar down, and then we would start trailing a buy stop above the high of subsequent bars, or we need an inside bar, and then we put a buy stop above the high. The virtue of a method like this is that there should never be any question as to what you should do. There's no question about whether or not is that a thrust bar or not a thrust bar. I don't know what a thrust bar is. I keep hearing people talk about thrust bars, and look, I'm sure there's a definition out there that might work for some, but I'm not the only one confused. I see people asking about, well, is this a thrust bar? And then the question becomes, well, this... Anyway, the whole point of the MEBOB thread is to use fixed bars, and early on the thread I said eventually I would like to get to introducing reversal bars, because those are my two main strategies: fixed bars, reversal bars. Sometimes a little bit of the momentum scalper creeps back in, and I will do something like that. And a momentum scalp would be that price breaks a significant low, for example. The next pivot is a little ways down, and I'll take a chunk of it. Like on gold, I might join a short, we get a short breakdown, but I'm only taking maybe a 2.5 to 5 point profit. I'm not trying to grab $25. Be nice, but that's not me. Not on those moves. But I'm going to do a longer video next. Going to go back, I don't know, maybe today's Wednesday. I think I'll go back to Monday the 12th through today and just look at long only reversal bar trades, inside bar trades, using the money management rules that I've demonstrated here. And then I will re-review today, because at that point we should be at 11:30. And once that bar concludes, I would be done for the day. That's it. So I'm going to get this thing uploaded to YouTube. Hope it wasn't a waste of your time. And I don't mean to slight anybody, but I have, when people come into our Price Pop thread and use it to launch their own, systems threads with all kinds of squiggly lines and difficult to define concepts, it's a little off-putting to me. And it's not just to me, because, I have some friends in Discord who've remarked to me, I've gotten some private messages here at Forex Factory where people are like, what's that all about? And you know what? I can't explain other people's behavior other than there's a lot of ego at Forex Factory. And everyone thinks they have the better mousetrap. And I'm not looking to build a better mousetrap. I'm looking to identify really easy to follow rules based on nothing but what price is doing relative to what price has done. That's it. And I'll explain more of that in the next video. Let's stop this one for now.